Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Marsh Minutes. I have a really exciting guest on, a friend of mine, Justin Reves, who is a content creator. He's a father. He does a lot of really cool stuff. Still making awesome content post Justin and Greg, the duo that he was were you the front half or the back half of that one?
I'm gonna say front half.
Okay, yeah,
Justin,
it's in the
you
name,
know,
yeah.
I don't know.
Um, so yeah, you're here on talking about some of the cool stuff you're doing and what's going on, and I'm so excited to have you on, man. Like,
Well, thank you for having me, Shay.
uh,
I almost was gonna make a joke and call you Shane just to
yeah,
troll you, but
we were just
I
talking about this
didn't.
before.
I didn't. I didn't know that
No, no,
Shane.
it's okay.
Yeah,
I get that all the time. Like it is something that happens when you have a weird name,
yeah,
and I'm gonna live with it for the rest of my life. So I could either
for
get
sure.
offended by it or just kind of go, okay, yeah,
Just
that
own
makes
it.
sense.
I
I
have
would make
this
that
weird.
mistake.
I have this weird thing. I answer the phone and I say my name is Justin, and everybody hears Jeff. And
Jeff.
it's not just one person, it's people all the time. It's however I say my name, and the more I try and clearly enunciate and say Justin, the more people hear Jeff.
So it's not
I
even
don't know.
like a Dustin type thing where it even sounds the
No,
same.
no, it's not rhymes with. It's I say Justin, they hear Jeff. But
So do
you
you
know,
get that even in like your personal career, or do you think people know you enough by now?
oh no, it's just like I just answer the phone. Like I work for an airport now, and
Yeah,
I answer the phone all the time. Everybody's, half the people I swear hear Jeff. Yeah, that's fine.
it's we our brain really works in weird ways, right? Like how you never see a motorcycle driving beside you because your brain is blocking it out.
Yes.
So
And also just that phones haven't come any farther. The audio quality on phones still sucks.
well, because so if you work for an airport, then you're going through like some kind of routing system that
Yeah, it's like a
has to
VoIP
channel everything.
system, but just phones in general. Like you pick up your phone, you make a call, it sounds terrible. Why haven't they fixed that yet? Anyway, I
I
know I'm
don't
not
know,
going.
and but do you feel like we're better off with Zoom and like Hangouts and stuff now?
Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of sick of them. Except for tonight. I'm
Oh,
not sick
well,
of this.
thanks, man. I appreciate it. This is
Yeah.
better than doing over the phone. I've actually done a couple of podcasts on the phone and a couple of like recordings, and
Yeah.
it's really weird. I'm doing it, and I'm like, there is no way on the tail end of this it's going to come out sounding good at all, and it never does,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Because
Yeah.
imagine putting the crappy phone calls through a filter to go
100%.
that way anyway.
100%.
So you are no stranger to like doing this kind of technology. You guys started with Facebook Live was kind of your claim to fame. And I know that's not really well. I'd like you to talk about if you've kind of kept up with Facebook and Facebook Live and how that technology's evolved, or what kind of
Sure.
shortcomings you had with it.
Yeah, I guess a little way of background. I got caught up in I don't know what we call the mid 2010s, the mid 20 teens, like 2015, 2016, the vlogging era. Still, I think, at least personally, the greatest YouTube era of Casey Neistat vlogging in New York City. That was just like, that was my
Was
favorite.
that like
Anyway, I was
before the adpocalypse kind of thing, or were there other things that contributed to that?
I think it was just vlogging became really popular at that time. You had like the guys like Roman Atwood and other people like vlogging, but like for me, Casey Neistat's creativity as well as like a bit of a rawness of not crazy produced, but just great storytelling all mixed together was kind of for me peak YouTube before it got too overproduced and was still a little bit real, but higher production value than like early days. Anyway, I love that era so
If
much.
I could like step in with an
Yeah.
observation too, I feel like Casey Neistat out of anyone is the most. He feels the most real out of everyone.
Yeah,
Still,
I mean, I can't say everyone. I don't know everyone, but of the people in that, yeah, he was just very authentically him, but obviously a guy who was a master at his craft after 15 or 20 years of making videos, putting that all together and cool to see somebody who came from like HBO and having a bit of a show on there. I wasn't the world's most popular show, but had an HBO show and a production company and then shut it all down and just did YouTube. Like, I don't know. There was something cool about that. And so I got in the vlogging thing, but I think it died because everybody burned out on doing it.
mhm.
Because if you were going to actually daily vlog, like that had to consume your life completely. And that was me. I started vlogging to just see if I could do it. I was new to cameras and wanted to figure it out. And after, I think I did like 180 episodes in 7 months, which,
Hmm.
is aggressive. And it's one of those things like, yeah, for me, I've got kids and a wife and was trying to run my own business. Meanwhile, 5 or 6 nights a week, editing till 1 a.m. You know, you put the kids down at 7:30, you go downstairs and you edit, you know, and you do thumbnails and you upload and you go to sleep and you wake up the next day and you try and film in and amongst, you know, creating work for yourself and doing your job and your business thing and trying to hang out with family. And like, it's just nuts. It was
I
just too
I
much.
can't stress enough how much I admire that grind, like especially when you were right into the thick of things, and then you were going on, and every single time you're on camera, big smile and excitement.
Yeah.
And where did you get the energy?
Well, you know what? Like, I loved it. I mean, for me, normally you turn on a camera and I'm like a million miles an hour. Like, I love it. And I'm in a slightly more chill season of my life right now that, you know, I'll won't be quite as crazy if I don't have to be. But you know, I loved it. Like, it was fun. But by the end, I was getting burned out. And the you know, every vlog probably took me 5 to 8 hours in a day to do, and you're doing them every day, and I just didn't wanna edit videos all the time anymore, and Facebook was brand new into the live game, and everybody else that was doing Facebook Live just had their phone out, and it was just, like, shaky live from here, and I found this little box that let me hook up my fancier, like, vlogging cameras with nice lenses and put it into there and go live with good quality audio and video, and I thought that was just so cool, and I thought, "Oh, I wonder if I can hack my way into making a show or doing something." And the great thing about live is you go live, when you're done, and at that time back then too, the Facebook algorithm would show a live video to 3 times as many people as it would one of my pre-recorded vlog videos. So I thought, "Oh, I wonder if I could build some content on here," and so I was looking into it, but I didn't wanna do it by myself. Doing the whole vlogging thing, it was essentially me doing it, and I wanted to see if I could find, like, a co-host or somebody to do a new show with, and I didn't know what the show was, I just wanted it to be live, and I met this guy, Greg, and after, like, 3 times of doing coffees, I said, "Hey, do you wanna start a Facebook Live show with me?" And he said yes. And the end, if we were to jump ahead, was working directly with Facebook's live team, beta testing new features. They flew us down to LA to consult with them. And it was, you know, it was kind of a cool journey in the arc of the story.
You hacking the system and creating like good quality Facebook videos and live specifically,
Yep.
was a huge pain in my ass as a marketer, because everyone I worked with was like, "Oh, I've seen Justin and Greg's videos. They look great. Why can't I do that with my phone?" And I'm like, so many things that need to go. and
Sure.
and even if I try to, like, stack everything on myself, there's no way that I could translate that and kind of create something. So you guys did an awesome job, and you made it look easy.
Yeah, it was, I'll tell you, at times it was like wildly stressful. And like, this was like early days of Facebook Live. I feel like the platform's actually stable now, but we used to have like a running joke in the background of like days since last technical disaster. And it was usually at 0 because it crashed all the time. And again, you're hacking together stuff that wasn't intended really to do this in order to do this. But between my video background and you said it'd be like have a little studio for recording and the sound tech and the I just more than anything, there's nothing I love as much as figuring something new out. And my greatest problem in life is that once I figure it out, I don't want to do it again, which is a terrible business model. But
Mhm.
at least it's fun for, I don't know, cutting edge, hacking attention and doing all sorts of cool stuff.
Well, you had fun, which I guess is like the crux of what made it successful. Is because I think, going back to how you get the energy, you said you love doing it, and I think that
Yep.
probably fed into exactly what that
Yep.
was doing. So yeah, so would you go back to Facebook Live now? I don't know if you want to say that, yes or no. I don't know what your relationship would be, because you've been streaming a lot on
Ugh.
Twitch too, just kind of playing around with that, and then
Yeah, like I go through seasons and of experimentation. The funny thing is the reason I picked Facebook back then was because Facebook was the only one who was really doing live. Like you had Twitch, but Twitch was for
it's
gaming
a very different
essentially.
situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't even have a
Yeah.
lot of
We're talking about like 5 years ago,
yeah.
and YouTube didn't have live. And so it really was only Facebook, and Facebook had this share button, which was a really cool way of connecting your content to people that you didn't normally connect with. Is if you could do something cool on Facebook, people would click share, and now all their friends are seeing the content, and it was a way to kind of grow an audience. But I mean, if I could go back and redo what we did with Justin and Greg, because we started with a live show, but then we ended up expanding to like all sorts of video content and even longer form kind of vlogs, adventures, all sorts of things that on Facebook wasn't the best platform. It would have done much better on YouTube, but YouTube didn't have a live platform. So we started on Facebook and we kind of did Facebook. And then we sort of got into YouTube, but we didn't build on there and it was maybe a little bit too late. So, right now for live stuff, like, I mean, it all, like, this is a problem, is it all depends. Like, they're
Hmm.
all different animals. Facebook's in such a weird place because they're trying to be all things to all people, from, a marketplace to, um, even Facebook dating, to this big video content feed, to regular everyday social media, to stories, to Messenger, to an ad platform, to, like, there's just so much going on there that I feel like it's hard to, like, build an audience there in the same way or get the engagement. Um, YouTube's a search engine. How do you grow on YouTube? You kind of create searchable content. Like, Instagram's a mess. Like, social media right now is in a weird spot unless you're good on TikTok. TikTok seems to be the place that you can grow and build a massive following,
Until the
and
next thing
everything
comes
else
around.
feels like a slug for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, the best content creators jump on a platform, build an audience, adapt to the next one, kind of bring them along and keep doing them, or go on multiple things. But you also had this advantage in early days social where if you built a following, it just wasn't as congested. And it's now one of the things I hear about, like, people getting into Twitch is like, there's just no room to be discovered on Twitch, or how do you
No.
even begin to do that? Versus for me, I just continue rolling along on my YouTube channel because I just keep making content that people search for and find, and that's fine. And then I can almost switch into anything I want on YouTube. And as long as it's not too far away from what I was doing, like, a lot of it early days was vlog, and then it was like camera tech focused. Now it's like video game, but people search for it and they find it. So
Hmm.
it works.
You talk about like people moving from one platform to another. There's a lot of not TikTok, sorry, Vine people that
Yeah.
came, and instead of
Yep.
doing their short form content, they were able to find a way to do React content or commentary.
Yep.
So I kind of look at that as like that's a barometer of success. But a lot of them haven't transitioned back to
For
TikTok
sure.
because they found their way to work on YouTube.
Yeah, I think that there are people who build a community, and then I think there's people who just love creating content. They just love being entertainers. They're good at it, and they found a way to do on 6-second vines. And I know that there's some of them who ended up much more falling in love with longer form videos, and adapting to that, and and found that, I mean, the thing that you want to sell as a content creator is attention, and having attention at 6 seconds a time is fine. But if I could have people's attention for 60 minutes, I sure could have a lot more impact and monetize that better because I'm just have so much more of people's attention. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I still think YouTube is the king of social platforms for attention, between the opportunity of growing your audience, people discovering your content, but just the fact that if you can build an audience, like, right now I'm stuck on this golf channel. It's called Good, and they put out like 3 or 4 30-minute videos, and I just want to watch. I wish they would give it to me 7 days a week, and I would watch half an hour every single day, maybe even multiple times a day if I could, because I just love the content so much. And they're just eating up so much of my attention, and that's great for them.
Well, do you feel like you're gonna maybe get burned out on that? I know that if I discover like a brand new channel,
Sure.
I'll go through
Yeah.
all their videos in like a week
Yeah.
and then never touch them again for another 6 months or so.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'll absolutely burn out on them, and then I'll find the next thing, and they'll have had me for a while. But, like, is there a balance there? You know what? I don't know. Like, there's actually not many channels where I look forward to watching a video now the same way that I did 3 years ago. It's
Hmm.
kind of like you go through seasons, and maybe there are some people like Casey Neistat puts out a video. Yeah, I'm watching it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can expect. It's like people, you're there for a season. I don't know. I feel like it's bands or artists or different things. Some of them you stick with forever, but some of them just they get you through a season. Who knows?
So, in terms of the content you guys created on Facebook, you weren't one hit wonders. There wasn't one video that went viral. Like I can think of the rural Uber.
Yeah,
And the winners one did extremely
yeah,
well, and then you guys had your whole stint with the Knights.
yeah.
Um, so that that has to fill you with pride that you guys just didn't have one thing that resonated, but you could kind of tap in.
Yeah, it's funny now being, 2.5 years removed from when we kind of shut it down, and my partner in crime, Greg, crime, Greg. Yeah, also known as Wheels on the radio. He was on the Connexus podcast, and it was talking, and Mason was saying how, who hosts the Connexus podcast, was we did seem to have like our fingers on the pulse of stuff, and we would just kind of find topics that we felt like people would resonate with and manage to create a number of videos, which, I mean, rural Uber is the biggest. It did like 12 million views, and like 10 million of those were in like a few days. It was just like insane. But then the next video we put out was like, I think we called it Rural Directions, but that one did a couple million views. And yeah, the Winners one had hundreds of thousands of views, and the Golden Knights one had hundreds of thousands of views. And there were a lot of videos that did a ton of views. But then there were also a lot of videos that did not, but people just don't really see those,
Mhm.
And I think actually some of our best work, like, just never got out there. Just, didn't catch the algorithm, didn't go, or, people didn't quite get it. But, we had a lot of videos that, yeah, that did do well in a lot of different spaces. And so we, Greg and I were just texting back. We did these ads for Connexus back in the day where we had to make these like little 15-second spots highlighting some features of their like online banking or mobile apps or things. And like, to tell any story in 15 seconds and make it good is so difficult when you're
Yeah.
making corporate videos. And we were just laughing because like they were awesome. Like they were so good. Just we were
They
having
didn't get
fun in
shut
them.
down or anything, right? Like they
No,
used them?
they put them out there. You could still like find them, but we're like going back and going, man, like, they were good videos. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, I say that like with humility because like in the end we just never made any money and we had to shut it down. But we had some good times along the way and we did have a measure of success. And even crazy, I mean, the moose video with Norway of starting the tallest moose statue, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, South China Morning Post, BBC Radio 1, the largest broadcast in the world, were on there for 8 minutes to 90 million people. Viral videos and talking to reporters everywhere and on Stephen Colbert, and like, you have that level
I
of
see you got your buddy
success.
Jimmy back there too.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon, going to New York, like getting into his studio. Like there were so many stories that were so crazy, being alternates for The Amazing Race. We were so close to being on. They asked us to come on the next year. And like, so like, we know so many people who had way less success than we did that made it, and we just never did, and that's not it's not a bad thing. Like we look back on it and go, I don't think we would have actually, like, we got young kids at home, like it would have been a disaster. We had our own stuff we had to work through and figure out, and it was like a kind of not a train wreck behind the scenes, but like we had no idea what we were doing. We were just figuring it out along the way. But in the end, had some incredible times, found so much success in a sense, and then in the other sense, just never quite got through, never quite made it. So it's like it's a very bizarre situation that I think about often, and just kind of go like, what could we have done different, or what would that have looked like, or why didn't we catch this or that? And at the end of the day, I think both of us are just like, it just feels like Providence that we didn't make it.
It
So
coulda,
who
woulda,
knows?
shoulda, right?
Yeah,
Is always the way that you look at that.
yeah,
But I think not necessarily looking at it realistic because obviously you guys were very successful at what you did, and again, like I said, you weren't a one hit wonder. But then you have to kind of look, especially with you guys having families that you have to take care of.
yep,
You have to look at the long term viability of
for
whatever
sure.
project you're working on, and it takes a lot to step back from that.
Yep, yeah. It we the thing is like nothing that you do in life is like wasted. You always end up with skills and talents and abilities and experiences and all sorts of things. But it was like we never wanted to shut it down. We really hoped that we would make it, but we just kind of came to the point and gave ourselves a deadline and said, okay, if we're not at a certain point by then, it's got to be done. And so it was done, and it was, I mean, I can only speak personally for myself, but it was like devastating for a
Hmm.
while. And you feel like you failed and you didn't succeed or accomplish what you accomplished. And I know even just for my own personal confidence for a while, it took a big hit, and it was tough to recover from and to come to terms with letting that go because we had just put absolutely everything in it spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially, and hoping that it would, become this thing that we could see that it could become, and it didn't get there. So yeah, it was painful for a while, and it took a while to kind of recover from that and be okay with moving on.
Well, and now though, I know that when you guys told me, um, and I know your trajectory of like your further career. Greg wanted to be a personality, and then that's where he's at now, right? He's on the radio,
Yep.
and then I looked at what you were doing, and I'm like, as long as he gets to keep creating stuff, that's probably the most important thing, right? Because if that creating stuff turns into something bigger, or he learns, or he kind of gets, and I'm happy that you're still able to do that with your YouTube channel. And I saw you playing around on Twitch a little bit there. So
Yeah.
tell me about like your current YouTube channel, because you're still making stuff.
Yeah, I'm still like it went dark there for a while where I was like, I just was burned out on creating, and it was nice to take a step back and not have to do it. And then, kind of I would say pandemic hit, and my channel had previously kind of been predicated on cameras and tech and the more inner workings of how I was creating some of the content that I was from a technical perspective. Yeah, and then the pandemic hit, and I just started playing more Call of Duty. I've got a bunch of guys, most of them are dads, and we all like log on in the evenings and spank a bunch of kids at Call of Duty because we're still pretty good at Call of Duty because
Uh,
we've had a lot of years.
I feel like you've been truthful to me up until the point when you said you go on and you guys beat a bunch of kids at Call of Duty. How truthful is that? Or
Well, if you want to go on my Twitter, you could see like search and destroy Justin 1v6 an entire team, which is incredibly difficult to do, and they were a pretty good team. I'm not always good, but when I'm on, I'm pretty decent of Call of Duty, and my KD it's not world class. Like I'm not pretending I'm the greatest in the world, but it's usually around a 1-3 to a 1-5, which is respectable, especially in a skill-based matchmaking
you're not a
world. So
consistent player, but you're a playmaker.
yeah, I just say I normally show up and I'm solid, and then sometimes I get real hot when I'm loaded in. But some of the other guys, like Greg was new to Call of Duty. He is not the best, but he's definitely won the most improved award. Buddy Mark from the Everyday Kitchen, if you know him,
Oh, he was on the show.
he's
Yeah,
perfect. He
way
was
early ago.
good.
Yeah,
He's just like steady with what he does, and then Greg's brother Dan is just like he's top
he's the guy.
shelf. He's consistently leading us to glory. But you ask the guys who play with me, I'm pretty good at Call of Duty. So but 10 years in, so at
So
least
you're taking that content, you're channeling that into.
yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm making gaming streaming content. What it ends up being is I forgot the question. I remember the question
Sorry.
was this pivot into just reviewing some of the gaming stuff. Like I didn't even realize how big of a deal it was going to be, but in September for the PlayStation 5 launch, I found a pre-order and I pre-ordered it. And I didn't think it would be a big deal. And my brother pre-ordered and then canceled because he thought, maybe not. I might get it later. And it's like, and then you find out afterwards that like, hey, if you'd kept your pre-order, you could have doubled your money. And still to this day now,
They're still
what are
getting
we,
scalped.
a year later,
Yeah.
you still can't find them. And so I had the PS5, and then I was trying to find like a good gaming monitor for my PS5. And when I get interested or excited about something, like I went down this deep, dark rabbit hole of trying to find the like best PlayStation 5 monitor. And then all I did was I just started making videos about, hey, this is the best budget PS5 monitor. I've looked for weeks and this one's the best. So I made that one, and then that one kind of popped on YouTube, and I was like, oh, interesting. So I was like, well, I'll make one about the settings I have for the monitor. And then I made one about, I was trying to stream with the PlayStation 5 with the little PlayStation 5 camera, and it was terrible. And so then I made a video about that. And then I just kind of like started the things that I enjoyed, and I put some paddles on the bottom of my PS5, and they don't make like a controller with paddles. And it's like, you make videos about that. You can make videos about the tech that you hook up to it. And it just kind of became this like little growing world of I don't know. I was playing video games and enjoying making content about all the things related to the tech side of video games. And so, I started doing that on the YouTube channel, and then, I had just recently, like company like BenQ reach out and say, "Hey, you want to review some monitors? We'll send you some new monitors. We saw your other one, and so like you get to keep one." And so it was like a $600 US monitor. So I was like, "Yeah,
Wow.
sure, let's try that out," which seemed cool. And then I got this very random email, which I get emails because of the YouTube channel from
Yep.
companies who they basically what they want you to do is review their $50 product and you get to keep it. And that's just like making videos takes time. And I don't know, like most stuff's like, I don't even want to keep it. Like, you get to keep it. Like, I'm just not interested. But I did get this email, which I almost deleted, where is this guy like, "Hey, my name's so and so. I work for DP Review, which is I do know that it's like a photography camera website, and we make videos for Amazon. Would you be interested in chatting about making videos for Amazon?" I was like, okay. I kind of emailed back like, "Hey, maybe. Like, do you want like me to host a video? Because I'll do that. But if you just want somebody who knows how to work a camera to make a video about a product and not be on it, like I'll find people who are better than that. I
Mhm.
like my I don't know, competitive advantages. I'll be good on camera." He's like, "No, no, no, we want you to do it. Like, would you hop on the phone and chat?" Well, turns out this guy is legit and he reaches out to companies to create videos that they put on their Amazon product pages. So Lenovo has a new laptop, and on your Amazon product page, you can actually have videos at the bottom from people. And so they create videos to go on the bottom of Amazon product pages. And so I've done like hard drives and laptops, and I got some headphones coming, and I did an Elgato webcam, and like they just send me products and I just make videos about them and they go on Amazon product pages. And that has been a fantastic little gig, both for creativity because they're nice short videos, and financially it pays incredible for what it is that I can bang them out in an evening, which is perfect. So that's been a cool little gig. And in the middle of making a couple of these videos, then I get this email from somebody. She's like, "Hey, I'm the marketing manager for video influencers on Amazon. Would you have time for a call?" It's like, "Oh, that's like weird and random." Like, sure. But apparently my YouTube channel sends a ton of links to Amazon, which, I don't make like a crazy amount of money. I've talked about this before, anywhere
Mhm.
from like 300 to $800 a month US, which is fine I don't even do that much on YouTube. It's just like this residual. But they were pulling reports on people on YouTube who make videos and send people over to Amazon. Like, their whole goal at Amazon is they want to stop people going on Amazon shopping for products, then going over to YouTube to research the products and then coming back to Amazon. They just want to do it right on there. So she actually explained the whole program to me because I didn't even really understand what these videos I was making on Amazon, like why and how do they work. And she's like, "You can do this yourself too if you want." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" So now I make some of the shorter videos myself to put on Amazon product pages and get commissions off them. So this is just like I just like new things. I like experimenting. I like figuring out what's going on, how things are working. Um, and yeah, so I still get to create content in lots of different places. But I mean, I have a job. So I'm fortunate now that I don't have to do it to make a living. I just do it because I want to.
And that's just so everyone can check it out. It's going to be down in the description. But Justin Reves, most of your stuff's on there, or sorry, Justin Reves
Yep.
on YouTube. Is most of the stuff just hosted directly on Amazon now, or do you have a lot of your
So
stuff on
yeah,
there too?
I mean, there's two different kinds of videos. Like my YouTube channel is like YouTube long form reviews and content. The stuff on Amazon you won't see unless you're on Amazon.com. Doesn't actually they don't support in Canada yet, just on the US site. So if you're shopping on Amazon.com and you're looking for hard drives or laptops or tablets or headphones, or who knows, at some point you might scroll down and suddenly see my face in a video if you're watching it. But it's just random stuff that some of it is stuff I have around here. Some of it is these companies that I get paid to make videos for them. So I will warn everybody, like I'm a shill for those videos. They're like, "Here's a script." I'm like, "Cool, I'll read your script. No problem." Like I'm a host. It's
Yeah,
different than my YouTube channel. I'd like make sure that I like really digging in and understand what's going on
well,
there
going
before I
back to what you
endorse
said
something.
too, like your competitive advantage is you are good in front of a camera. And I think that like even me going in front, like I stumble through this a lot because I'm not as practiced as you are with
Sure.
something like that. You could just go and like turn on, man.
Yeah,
And
when I get
that's a
in the
skill.
zone, I can make a lot. Like, and people don't like I'm not good at everything. There's lots of things I'm not good at, but for some reason, if I understand a product, like most of my YouTube videos is 13 minutes of me talking straight uncut. There might be 1 or 2 cuts in a 13-minute video. And generally, people, if you watch it, you would think, oh, this is a coherent thought. So, yeah, like talking on camera. Now, again, I don't know what I'm in, 1,500, 2,000 videos in. It
Oh,
wasn't as
yeah.
good early on. But, there's natural talent and there's practice. And, LeBron does what LeBron does because he has a ton of talent and he put in a ton of work. I am not the LeBron James of anything, just to be clear, but there was some natural talent, and then I've put a ton of work into it.
It's hitting that record button and just keep trying,
Yeah,
fail, and
yeah,
get practice at whatever you're doing or not doing
for
well.
sure. I mean, if you want to see a disaster, go on my YouTube channel. It's still there. Go look at vlog001. It's the worst piece of content ever.
But you kept it up.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, you got to keep it up. It's
Yeah.
part of the story, but it's terrible in every way. Everything's out of focus. The audio's terrible. The host is terrible. The story is terrible. There is no good redeeming quality about that video. And I remember sitting there going, and I knew it, like I'm self-aware enough to go, this is terrible. But I'm like, if I don't put this one up, I won't make the next one. So let's just put it up there and move on to the next one. So I did.
Okay, I'm going to put you on blast a little bit here. Have you
Sure.
done any videos for products where you're building a computer?
I haven't. I could tell you about Michi. I did actually in a former life, like when I used to do IT, built computers all the time for work, but I haven't actually made a video yet of building a computer. But the last sleazy thing I did was they sent me this hard drive to review, and like I run off Mac laptops, and they're like, "Can you show it inside of a desktop computer?" So I was like, sure, yeah, no problem. So I phoned up my brother. I said, hey, do you have like a PC kicking around? He's like, yeah, I got the old one. Like the video card's broken on it, but you can have it. So I was like, perfect. So I bring it up here and I pull it apart. I'm getting ready to shoot the whole thing, but the hard drive's too new. It doesn't fit in the PC.
Is it an NVMe?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I understand a lot more now, but in that moment I was like, oh shoot, this is an M2. Like it doesn't fit in this old. So I used sticky tack and some broken popsicle sticks to basically have it in a spot and then use some wires to blur out the fact that you couldn't see the connection, and then did these nice like sliding shots of it installed in the computer, but it wasn't actually hooked up. So, anyway.
And nobody noticed.
That's me outing myself. Yeah, they didn't notice. It passed the Amazon inspection. So.
Well, we don't really have a large audience, so I don't know if that's ever going to get to them. But,
yeah, exactly.
Do you remember though when you were building a computer with Justin and Greg on your Twitch channel, and I was in there just having conniptions with some of the stuff you guys were doing? I'm like, no, do it this way. That's why I was asking.
Oh, I forgot about that computer I built. Yeah. Well, and that one too, like that would probably been 8 or 10 years since I built it. But I'm also just like not the guy who's wearing the static armband and like, it blows up, it blows up.
Oh, and I'm the same way. Like as much as I was like freaking out a little bit, like I built maybe 2 or 3 computers a year. So by no means am I an expert. My cable management is awful.
Oh yeah. No, I don't care. As long as I have a reasonable sense that the cables aren't going to get caught in a fan blade, it's fine. That's all it needs to do is just don't get caught in the fan blade.
So you're modding your PS5 a lot. And like I just saw you install the new hard drive in there. How difficult was that? Did you have to putz around with that a little bit, or you just got a shield, you were good to go?
It's actually ridiculously easy. The only hard part was trying not to break the PS5 plastic side to get it off to get in there. But yeah, again, I just love that hard drive that I put in there. I didn't even know worked with the PS5 at the time. It was one of these ones the company sent me. It was literally the same hard drive that I had to fake into that computer. They're like, "Hey, can you review this?" And again, like what they want is they want me. I'm reading a script and kind of hitting some of the high level marketing features of the drive, but I love it because I end up learning in the process. I'm like, holy crap, this hard drive is so fast. And then I start hearing rumblings of PS5 lets you install a hard drive. So I'm like, wait a second.
And that one
the lights
worked
start going off. And so that one was a new NVMe, SSD 4.0. Like anyway, it's a hop and drive. So yeah, then I was like, oh, this will work in my PS5. But at the time when I had it, PS5 didn't support that officially, and then it supported it. So I put it in there, and no, it was easy. And then I made a video about it. And my number one most paying me content in the last 45 days has been a 90-second video on how to install that hard drive into a PS5 on Amazon product pages. So if you go look up a Crucial P5 Plus on Amazon.com and you scroll down, you will see my video on there. I've made like $200 already off Amazon. It's only been a month, so
And you
which
got
is
a free
great.
NVMe drive, right?
And I got the drive for free,
Oh, those things are expensive.
and my PlayStation 5 has twice the storage now. So, it just worked out perfectly.
Well, so in terms of PS5, because I know you're like really big into PS5 right now, what are you looking forward to in the next year?
I just like a Call of Duty. That's
You're
what I
just a
like.
Call of Duty guy.
I'm
You're
just
not looking
like,
forward to
here's the
like the
thing.
new God of War or
I'm the worst game. I'm not a gamer in the sense of all I want to do is game socially. Like
Mhm.
I just want to hang out with my friends and go to war, and have fun together. And when they're not online for a day or two, it's kind of like I like doing the challenges and unlocking guns and leveling things up. But like I don't really play video game. Like I never play the single player campaigns. I don't do the stories. I just want to go online and level up and be the best version of myself. It's more of like a competitive
Mhm.
team-based play. So, yeah, like I tried to like Cyberpunk, like I tried to was it? Yeah, Cyberpunk, that was a game that I was excited for and then tried it and was like, "Can I get a refund for
Yeah.
this?" Because it just
It was not a good
technically
launch.
was not executed well. And like there's the new Halo coming out, but I'm just like first person shooters. I play Fortnite a little bit with my son who's 9.
Yeah.
And he's probably better than me now at it. I hate building in Fortnite, but I've never really played too much beyond that, other than maybe a little like Gran Turismo racing because I love cars.
Hmm.
But no, I'm a terrible. Everybody talks about the God of War. I did get a Oculus Quest, but my kids play it all the time. Virtual reality is super cool, so that's neat. But they still haven't built like a truly massive game that'll be, it's like a
It's going
full
to be a
game. But
while
I look
yet.
forward to that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be a little while for that. So no, I'm terrible. What am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to the new Call of Duty that's out in 9 days, and hopefully, and the new version of Warzone that kind of comes along with that. And those two things, that'll sustain me for about 8 or 9 months, and then I'll be sick of games for 3 months, and then the new Call of Duty will come out. So I'm a very simple man because like I don't have
You
like
know what you want. You know what you like.
yeah, and I don't like my own. I don't have that much time to play video games other than 8 to 10 p.m. weekdays some nights, and then some weekends till 2 or 3 a.m. on bad days. But then I know I have to wake up early with the kids, so that doesn't happen as much. So,
Yeah.
some of those other games, it feels like you just got to put a lot of hours, or I'd want to be in the zone for 12 hours. Like I just want to play them for 12 hours.
Damn
Although I am
responsibilities, right?
tempted. Ooh, the last like Resident Evil on the Wii. I think Resident Evil 4, maybe?
Well, so
No, the
they're
newest.
actually re-releasing Resident Evil 4 in VR. So
Yeah, well,
if
that's
you
what I was
did
gonna
enjoy
say.
that
It's
one,
coming in VR,
yeah.
and I didn't realize it was a re-release because I think it was Resident Evil 4. I loved it because on the Wii you got to aim and shoot with the controller, which
Yep.
just felt so much cooler. And so I remember playing that, and my wife watched like a huge chunk of it because it was a great story and it was kind of
Hmm.
creepy. But I'm like, in VR is, if people haven't been in VR, like it's too real. Like it's real.
PlayStation VR had like a big partnership with Capcom for Resident
Okay.
Evil 7. And that game is one of the scariest things you could ever
Yeah.
experience in VR. Do you have a
Yeah.
PlayStation VR?
I don't have PlayStation VR, no.
Okay. Sometime we'll have to get together. You'll have to come
Ugh.
check that out because it's a blast and it is.
Just even like the early Arizona
Okay.
sunshine. I can remember, but it's like you're in the Wild West, but there's zombies everywhere in
Mhm.
VR, and
Right.
you, it's too like even that one. Like I'm bad at jump scares. Like I just jump scare in Jurassic Park the original all the time, even to this day. Like I'm the worst jump scare person, so zombie games just mess me right up.
Well, tis the season to be scared, but as you
I
said, you're a
guess
man who
so.
knows what you like.
No,
And I know we touched on like you love cars. There's a bunch of other stuff that we didn't get to here that I do want to talk about. So you're actually gonna have to come on another time to
sure.
go a little more into that and talk about your successes in the future.
Yeah, well, anytime you want to have me, I'm happy to chat. I think it was a weird night of random rambles, but
Oh
hey,
no,
we'll take it.
that's why I wanted you on, man. Is just to peek inside your head for a little bit there. But yeah, like this is. I think we've gone over a little bit. My editor's gonna probably yell at me, but that's okay. I had a blast, and I appreciate you being on, man.
Thanks for having me, Shay. Till
Cool,
next time.
for sure.
Shane.
Shane. Oh, okay, whatever.
It's good.
Oh crap, what was it? I don't remember. Dustin. There you go.
Dustin, there we go. You can call me Jeff. My name's Jeff.
Jeff, not Jesse.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
So if you guys want to check out Justin Reves, you can check him out on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. I don't think he quite has a TikTok yet, or he's just not worried about
I
that.
made a few, but no, I mean, I'm a little quieter on social these days.
You can find the guy on the internet and see exactly what he's up to and what he's going to be working on. So once again, thanks a lot, man, and we'll talk to you shortly.
Adios.